Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to Engineering Adda. So today in this video we are going to develop our own custom image generator bot. So you might heard about the ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is a chatbot. Okay, so based upon the given questions or the prompt, it generates the response for us. Similarly, based upon the given prompt, the image generator bot will generate the image for you. Okay, so OpenAI has provided couple of public APIs which generate the images for us based upon our instruction or the prompt. So that API we are going to use in our Spring Boot application, and then we'll try to create our own custom image generator bot. Okay, so this is what we are going to discuss in this video. So stay tuned and let's get started. So first of all, I will try to go to the OpenAI website and try to brief you about the APIs that OpenAI provided and how we can integrate it. And then we'll try to create a Spring Boot application, and then there we'll try to integrate those API to create our own custom image generator bot. Okay. So let me try to go to the browser. Okay. So go to the Chrome browser, and here you have to search for the OpenAI. Okay. So you can go to this first site, which is openai.com, and here you can see. So one note I just want to let you know that make sure you have one personal account with the OpenAI. With the help of your Google account, you can directly create your OpenAI personal account. So make sure you have created it. Okay. Now you have to go to this developer section. For me, I have created this OpenAI account with this Gmail account. So I'm directly, because I have logged in with the Gmail here in this browser, it will directly pick up my OpenAI account also, right? So make sure you have a personal account with the OpenAI. Okay. Now, when you go to the OpenAI developer section, you find this API references. You need to go there, and there they have provided everything about the API references and how you have to integrate those API in your personal applications. So this is the introduction of that. So here you can see in introduction they have mentioned that you can interact with the API through HTTP request from any language via our official Python bindings, our official node.js library, or a community maintained library. So for the Python and Node, they have provided a direct library which you can include in your application, and running these commands, you can integrate these libraries in your corresponding application. For Python, this is the command. For Node, this is the command. Once you will integrate those libraries, then you can directly use the public API provided by the OpenAI. Okay. For our case, we are going to develop a Spring Boot application, and then we'll try to integrate the public API for the image generation. Now coming to the next section, which is authentication. So this is very much important. In order to use the public APIs provided by the OpenAI, you must be authenticated, right? So the OpenAI generate a public key. Using that, you can access the OpenAI provided public APIs, and then you can integrate them in your applications. So in order to call those public APIs provided by the OpenAI, you need to have a authentication key. Okay, so here in this authentication section, you can find this how to generate the API keys. So here you can see the OpenAI API uses API key for authentication. Visit your API's keys page to retrieve the API key you will use in your request. So you can click on this, and then here you go. I already have created a key for me. Okay. Now, if you want to create it for first time, you can just click on this create new secret key, and then you have to provide the name of the key. Let's say it is my key or my first key, something like that, and then generate. And then you have to copy this key, keep it somewhere. So let me try to go to the notepad and keep it here. Now done. And then for me, let me try to delete this first one. Okay. And I keep whatever I have generated as of now. So this is about the key generation. Now let me try to go back to the API references, and this is about the authentication. Now we have to integrate the image generation API, right? So you have to go to this section images. If you click on it, you can see this. Given a prompt and or an input image, the model will generate a new image. So based upon the prompt or the statement that you are going to give to the chat bot, to the image generator bot, it will try to generate the image for you. So you can see this create image. This is the API that we are going to integrate. So this is a post API. Make sure you remember this. So copy this API and try to go to the, let me try to keep it here in the notepad, and create an image given a prompt. Request body, what are the request body we have? We have the prompt, which is required one. Then we have the n, which is of integer type. It can be optional, and this represent the number of images to generate. It can be between 1 to 10. Now coming to the size of the generated image must be one of 256 into 256, or 512 into 512, or 1024 into 1024. So this is the size of the image that you want to generate, and this is the number of image that you want to generate, and this is the prompt. This prompt you need to give in order to generate the desired image. Okay, it can be of up to 1000 characters. Now coming to the response format, the format in which the generated image are returned must be one of the URL or b64 underscore JSON. So we are going to generate this image in the form of URL. Now coming to the user, a unique identifier representing your end user, which can help OpenAI to monitor and detect abuse. So you can also provide this user, or it is optional. Okay, so I'm not going to use this as of now. Now coming to the, this is the edit image. Okay, so this is this image that sorry, this API that we are going to use. Okay, so these are the specification or the requirement that we have for this API. If you can come here to the right side, you will see this. This is the API, and this is the content type, which is application slash JSON, and this is the authentication key that you have to provide. And now coming to the request body, this is the request body for you. Okay, and this is the response. In this form, the response will be generated. So there is a date which is created, and then there is a data which contains the URLs for the images, which will be created by the OpenAI. Okay, so if you are aware that from where this OpenAI generate those images, so there is a OpenAI site, and that site name is DALLE, I think. So let me try to browse it and then try to show you from where it will try to generate the image for you. So if you'll search for the OpenAI and go there, let me try to log in, and here we go. This is the site from where it try to generate your images. Okay, so if you'll go there, you can go to it and then try to see how it is working. Let me try to log in. So this is the site from where it generate the images. You have to provide the description of the image that you want, and then you can generate it. So when you are going to use this open API from the OpenAI, then this API will try to internally call the DALLE website and try to generate your custom image. Okay, so this is the whole flow. Now let me try to go to the IntelliJ and try to create our Spring Boot application, and then we'll try to create the request response, and then we'll try to use this API. Okay, so let me try to go to the IntelliJ and try to create that application. So this is a simple web application that we are going to generate. So if we'll go to the file new project and go to the Spring Initializer, here you have to give the name of your application. So let's say it is image generator chatbot. Okay, sorry, image generator bot. You can also use springboot, something like that. And this should be of Maven. And go next. Let me try to include the Lombok and web. Only these two dependency I'm going to use. Just create it, select the new window. Let me try to close the previous application. So just wait for a few seconds. It will try to download all the dependency, and then our application will be good to go. Okay. So we have discussed about the OpenAI public APIs and what are their payloads, what are their responses, how we are going to consume it. We are going to see those things. So now we have created the application, and now let me try to go for the development. So if we'll go to the source main, okay, so it has not opened in the form of Maven. Let me try to close it and then reopen it again. Okay, so let me try to go to the IntelliJ and let me try to open it as of now. Go to the file and go to the recent projects. Here, image generator boot springboot. This is the application that we have developed. Open in a new tab. There is a problem in my IntelliJ. For the first time, it does not load the Maven project. So you can see here, Maven build script found, load Maven project. So now it will load. So just click on it, and there we go. It will try to download all the dependency that we have included in pom.xml, and then in few seconds it will try to good for the development. Here you go. Okay, so it is good now. Now let me try to create the packages here. So first of all, I'm going to create the request and then response, and then we are going to create the controller, and also we are going to do the configuration. So let me try to create the package called DTO, and let me try to close this one, and let me try to go to the browser and try to see what request we need to send to the API. So here we go. You can see this. This is the request that we need to send. So in the request, we have the prompt, we have the number of images that you want to retrieve, and we have the size of the image, right? So these three things we need to include. So these are the specification of those attributes. In the prompt should be of a string type, and it is a mandatory one. And the size, sorry, the number of the images that you want, it is integer type, and the size is also of string type, and it should be either in this case. Okay, so let me try to develop the payload according to that. So go to the DTO, right click on it, and just go to the Java class and create a Java class called image request. Okay, and let me try to add those attributes here. So first was string prompt, second is number of images, so private integer, and then we have the size of the image, which is of a string type. Okay, so size. Now let me try to use the Lombok annotation called or argument, no argument, and then data for getter and setters. Okay, so this will try to generate the all argument, no argument constructor, and in the data we have the getter and setter and two string. So we are good now. Now let me try to go to the site again and then try to show you what is the response we get. So in the response you can see this is the created date and this is the data. In the data we can see this is the list of the data, right? And the list contains a key value pair, you can say, which is the key is URL and the value is the HTTP URL of that particular image which will be generated. So you can see this is the format of the response. So let me try to create the response in the same format. So go to the browser and try to create a response here. So just let's say it is image response, and let me try to include all argument, no argument, and data. Now let me try to uh, add those attributes here. So private, it is of date type which is created, and date I'm going to use from the util. So it was created, and now the data is in the form of list of data, and the list contains the key value pairs, right? So what you can do, you can create a list of data which contains the key value pairs. So I'm just going to create the data as a list of hash map. In the hash map, we have the key as a string and the key as a value as well. So that we are going to do. Okay, so let me try to go to the IntelliJ and let me try to create the list of hash map, and the key is also of string type and the value is also of string type, and its name is data. Okay, let me try to import the list. So yeah, we are good. So let me try to match it again. So it is created, which is of date type, and the data is of list of key value pairs. So we put it like list of hash map. Okay, so we are good now. So we have created the request, we have created the response. Now coming to the configuration, let me try to do the configuration. Okay, so just go to the Java. Okay, before going, let me try to create a package here for the configuration. So let's say it is config. So we are going to consume this API, right? So how we can consume a third party API? So there is a like there are a couple of ways in Spring Boot you can consume this third party APIs. One is REST template. So using REST template you can consume these APIs. There are retrofit. So the through your retrofit also you can consume these APIs. So here I'm going to use the REST template. So for that I need to do the configuration. So that is why I have created this config package, and here I'm going to create the configuration class. So let's say it is openai config. Okay. And now let me try to annotate this class with @configuration. So yeah, we have added this. So there is one question, why we are using this @configuration. So @configuration will try to create the object of the methods that we are going to define in this class, and then it will try to assign this to the application context so that a Spring Boot can use that. Okay, so wherever we are going to auto-wire those methods directly, we can use the object of that from the reference that we have auto-wired. Okay, so now let me try to create a bean of the REST template in this class. So let's say it is bean, and let's say the method is public, return type is REST template, and let's say get REST template, and it is returning the new instance of the REST template. Okay, so we are good now. Now let me try to create the controller package here, and then we'll try to create the controller class, and then there we'll try to consume the API. Okay, so there we'll try to consume this API. So let me try to go to the IntelliJ and let me try to create the controller class here. So let's say it is image controller or image generator, something like that. Image generator controller, and let me try to annotate this with @REST template, sorry, @REST controller, and now we need to auto wire the REST template here. Okay, so private REST template. Okay, now let me try to create a post mapping here. So post mapping, and in the post mapping let me try to pass it generate image, something like that. Okay, and let's say the return type of the method would be URLs, and that is in the form of string, right? So let me try to put the return type as a string, Okay, generate image, and in the request body we are passing the image request, right? So let me try to use the request body, and it is of image request. Now with the help of REST template, I'm going to call the uh, object post for object method, and there will try to pass the URLs, and then it will try to go to that particular URL and then try to load the responses for us. Okay, so let me try to call that post for object, and then you can see we have to pass the URL and then the request and then the return type. So as of now we have not defined the URLs, right? So let me try to include it here, and then we'll try to configure it in the application properties file as well. So as of now I'm just going to include it here. So let's say it is private static final string. Let's say it is URL, or you can say image URL or openai URL, something like that. And here you have to provide the URL. So the URL I have copied here in the notepad. You can also go to the website and from there you can copy it. Now let me try to go to the IntelliJ and paste it here. So this is the URL that we are going to pass here. So just copy this, paste it here. And the other thing what we need to pass the request. Okay, so this is the image request, or you can say request body. And then we have to pass the response type. So the response that we are expecting out of this method is image response. Okay, so let me try to pass it here, image response dot class. Okay, and let me try to keep it in the reference of the image response. So let me try to create it. Okay, so we are good now. So what we did, we have passed this URL. So with the help of rich template, it is calling this post for object method where we are passing the URL. It is going to that URL with the help of this image request and then retrieving out the response for us. And that response we are storing in the image response reference. Now let me try to go to the image response and try to show you. So in the image response, we have the date and we have the data. The data is of list of key value pairs, list of hash map. So in order to retrieve this value, we need to use the key, right? So let me try to go there to the controller. Okay, so we have the response. Now I want to extract out the value. Okay, so value from the hash map, value from the data. So let me try to go to the uh, OpenAI, and here you can see this is the response. So in the response we have two fields, one is created, another is data. Data contains the URL as a key and then the URL of the image, right? So we are going to return this URL. So let me try to go to the IntelliJ now. So we have the response, image response dot get data, and now let me try to get the first data. Okay, and then get. Now we need to pass the key. The key is URL. Okay, if we'll go there, you can see this is the key. So we are passing that, and then we are converting to the string and then returning it. So from here you can return it. Okay, so we are good now. So you might remember that we have generated this key, authentication key, but we are not using it. So let me try to show you where we can use it. Okay, so first of all, I will try to run this application and try to hit these endpoints and then try to show you what error we are getting. And then we'll try to include that key, and then we'll try to again hit this API. Okay, so everything we have included here. Now let me try to run this application and try to hit this endpoint. with the required payload. Okay, so let me try to go to the postman and try to create a request here. So let me try to create a new collection, and let's say its name is OpenAI image generator. Okay, now let me try to create one request. Sorry, let me try to create one request here, and that request should be of post type, and the URL that we are going to hit is our application will be up locally, so it is localhost, and the port number is 8080, and then the URL for the post mapping we have defined is generate image. So copy it from here, go to the postman, paste it here, and now we need to provide the body. Okay, so in the body we are going to provide the request. Now you can also go to the OpenAI and then try to copy this from here. So copy it. Now go to the postman, and if you'll go to the body, you have to select this draw, and instead of text you need to select the JSON and paste this payload here. Okay, so as of now let me try to import only one image or one image URL. So I'm just keeping the N as 1. Now if you'll go to the IntelliJ, you can see our application is up on the port number 8080. And if you'll go to the postman again, this is the API that we have created, and now we are going to hit this endpoint. So just click on send, and here we go. We are getting this internal server error. If you'll go to the IntelliJ and if you'll check the logs, you will find the reason. So here you can see it is unauthorized 401. So we have not passed the key that we have generated from the OpenAI. So in order to access these APIs, you need to pass that key, right? So where we need to pass that key? So that key you can pass in the request header, or you can directly pass it in the REST template. Okay, so here let me try to create that uh, request header and then pass those request here. Okay, pass those keys here. So I'm going to create a request header, and then there I will pass those key as authentication, and then it will work. So before going to implement it, let me try to go to the browser, and let me try to go to the OpenAI. Here you can see uh, in the header we need to pass this key, and the key format should be the key for the key is authentication, and the value is bearer, and then you have to pass the generated key, right? So this way you have to pass it. So let me try to go to the IntelliJ, and here let me try to do that. So let me try to create a REST template. Let's say REST template equal to new REST template. So we have created the REST template object. Now let me try to use the REST template dot get interceptor, and then we need to add the request here. So add, okay, and we need to add the request here. So just let me try to do that. So it is request, body, and execution. We are going to use this lambda. Okay, just let me try to use this request dot. I have to create a header. Okay, so just get header, and then we need to set the, or you can say we need to add the authentication key here. So just add, and we need to pass the key as authentication. Authentic, sorry, we need to pass the key as a authorization. Okay, and the value should be bearer. Let me try to go to the OpenAI, and here you can see the key is authorization. Copy this, come here, the key should be authorization, and the value is bearer, and then we need to pass the key. So just keep it like bearer, and then keep a space, and then you have to pass the key here. So just pass the key. So outside of this bean method, let me try to create a key here. So let's say private static final string, and let's say open something like that, open AI underscore key, and let me try to put the key here. So if you'll go to the notepad, you will find this key that we have generated. So copy this and now go to the IntelliJ and paste it here, and directly we can use that key. So just pass that key here. Okay, open AI key. Okay, so we are good now. Now let me try to do the execution of it. So just let me try to do return execution dot execute, and then we have to pass the request and the body. Okay, so request and then body. So we are good now. Now let me try to, okay, so we are good. And from here we need to return the rest template, right? So just return. Okay, so this is the method. So we need to return from here, return rest template. So what we did, we have created the REST template, and in the REST template itself, we are creating the header, and in the header, we are passing the authorization key. Okay, so you can see this, right? Header name is authorization, and then we are passing the key in the form of bearer plus key. Okay, so this is what we are doing. So we are good now. Now let me try to rerun this application and try to hit this endpoint again. So the authorization issue will be gone. So just wait for a few seconds. So yeah, now our application is up. Go to the postman, and here you can see in the prompt what we are asking. We are asking for a cute baby sea otter, and the image number would be 1, and the size is 1024 into 1024. Okay, so make sure this is x, small x, in between the 1024. Now let me try to hit this endpoint, and yeah, this will take few second, and here we go. It has generated the URL for that particular image that we have asked. Now if you click on it, this is the get URL. You can directly copy this URL and go to the browser and then search, like hit this that URL in the browser. There also you can generate your image. Here also in the Postman you can generate it. So just hit enter, and it will take few seconds to generate that image. So just wait for that. So here we go. Okay, you can see this otter, right? So this is how you can create your custom image generator bot. Okay, now let me try to copy this URL and try to show you something. So copy this and go to the browser, and here also you can search for it. One thing I just want to show you, that if you'll see this, the first few lines of the URL, you can see this is coming from the OpenAI DALLE API. So I already have showed you that whenever we are going to consume this post API, which is provided by the OpenAI, which is a public API for the image generation, it is going back to the DALLE to browse site of the OpenAI and creating a custom image for us. So this is how you can develop your own image generator bot with the help of the OpenAI public APIs. Okay, so this is about the video, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks.